All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Amigos Plays. This is where I'm John Boat of Car. I am going to play this title that I don't think Aaron and I will ever cover in a podcast. There's way too many good Amiga games out there, and I want to at least put some of them out there that are a little bit off the beaten path. And so this is Nick Faldo's Championship Golf. This came out in 1992, and this is back when Nick Faldo was still a major player on the tournament. If you're unfamiliar with Nick Faldo, he's a British golfer, and he's one of the best of all time. This game was released on the normal Amiga. It was ported to some other things, and there's also a CD32 version that came out that had improved graphics and probably cut down on some of the loading times. Anyway, we've got music at the beginning, but that's the only place we see music in this game. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and jump right on in. So right off the bat, you've got a coaching option, which is necessary if you want to figure out how to play, because it is not really clear how to swing. This is different than every other golf game I've ever played. And what makes it so frustrating is that it looks so similar, but the way that it works is just different. And you'll see what I mean when we start playing. But we're going to go right in here. You've got a lot of options right off the bat. You can choose your number of players. You can do match play and compete in teams against each other. And these can be human players or computer players, any combination of each. You've got 2 courses. There's not a whole lot of courses in this game, but this originally fit on 2 discs, and so I mean it's a pretty good amount of courses. I mean there's a lot of golf games out there that only have 1 course, and you can also choose your season. Got spring, summer, and winter. We'll choose to play at the height of summer because it's probably the prettiest. Here's where you choose your humans. Now you can choose up to 8 humans, so this is where I'm a little bit unclear about how the stroke play at the beginning works, because I thought that was a player select, but apparently you can have up to 8, maybe even. Can you select every? Let's see. How many? Okay. Oh, I see. I've already chosen to select 1 player, so it's going to only let me select 1 player. That makes sense. So we'll select our human, and now this is cool. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a name. How can I do this? Oh, I don't know what that AM means, and I guess I'm not able to give myself a name. But I can name my caddy, so I like that. Bill. It's a good, solid caddy name. We get to choose our club loadout. This is something that's unique to this game, as far as I know. I haven't played any of the new Tiger Woods games, so it's probably common now. But for 8 and 16-bit games, choosing your clubs is not. I've never seen that. So we'll choose our normal loadout for a golfer. With 13 club selection, most average players are going to pick a driver, a fairway wood, a 5 wood, and then start at the 3 iron and just go all the way up for the rest. And that leaves us with 1 more. This really, any one of these clubs is not going to be used very often that we choose. So we'll just go with a 2 iron. And done. And while we're waiting for the game to load up, we get a little history of the course. Set on the outskirts of Torquay on the English Riviera, Royal Palms is a popular resort. The course was established in 1926 by royal decree. The 14th is the most famous hole with its island green. The course ends on a difficult par 4 dogleg that leads to the splendid clubhouse. I can't wait to see it. We'll see if I see it. So this is your play screen. There's a lot of things going on here, and I'll just kind of explain what's going on. If you hover over either one of these bars, this thing automatically pops out. Your club selection screen is here. This is pretty self-explanatory. There is no automatic club selection, so after you hit your first shot, it's going to stay on one wood until you move it. So that's important to know. This is the hit box. You can see that the shorter the distance the club will take you. For example, the pitching wedge and the sand wedge, you can't hit those very far compared to the driver. The hit box is a lot bigger, so there's a lot more room for error. Versus with the driver, it's a very small hit box. And that's part of what makes this game challenging, bordering on frustrating, as we'll see in a second. Over here, we've got our the way our ball's lying. Of course, we're on the tee because we're teeing off. You can't actually tell, I don't think, what direction you're facing. So, for example, if I maneuver my golfer, so we're pointing kind of at a right angle, or towards the clubhouse, there's nothing here that's telling me I'm facing over there. And that's a problem, because once you get into this course, it's not always clear, if you've got trees on both sides of you, which side you're supposed to go on. But I don't want to be too negative right off the bat. Let's go ahead and return to where we were. Okay, you do have a certain amount of control over the direction that you hit it by clicking on the mouse. You can also select what kind of swing you want to take, whether you want to take 100%, or I guess you don't have too much room with the driver. You can't really half swing a driver. So that's what you see there. This may or may not make your hitbox bigger. I haven't, let's see if we can see if it does or not. It looks like it makes it stay the same size. You've got your stance over here. So if you want to fade or draw, you can line up accordingly. You can also do something with this. That maybe this is probably also part of it. I don't know what that is. Okay, that's everything but the swing. So it's time to talk about what makes this game unique. When you hover your mouse over the ball area, your cursor changes to this arrow thing. And what this does is it lets you click, and when you click, you're on the counter. Okay, so as soon as I click, this area right here is going to change into a swing gauge. Okay, when the swing gauge gets up into the sweet spot, you have to double click within the sweet spot. So that is the thing that threw me off forever. There's also a mechanic called wrist action, and wrist action is a smaller hitbox that's towards the beginning of the swing, and that allows you, I guess, to put a little English on the ball. But it's just very hard because you're making a series of 3 clicks in a very short amount of time. Let me try and tee off here, and you can see what I mean. See, I was way late. Let's see. I think we want to just do that again. Select old position to mulligan. We're going to mulligan. You've got to time this so it's almost early, your first of the double clicks. Let me try again here. That time I was a little early, but that's going to get me, well, I think that we're going to go from there. Now, those shots, driver shots, are the most difficult because they have the smallest sweet spot, just like in every game. Let's check our position here. Looks like we just need to kind of go to the right. And we've still got our driver selected. It's important to realize that what we need to do is select an iron, because we're not going to get much out of this rough. We'll try a 5-iron. Okay, now it shows us that we're 306 yards away, but it doesn't tell us how far we can hit the 5-iron. Let's see, this hole is 398 yards. Again, it doesn't tell us much. This time we should be able to, yeah, we can put it down a little bit more. I wonder what happens if we do the sand wedge, how far we can move this down. Oh, almost all the way. So that gives you some fine-tuning control, but without any real gauge of how far you want to hit the ball, it doesn't help. So we'll go with 100% swing with a 5-iron, and we'll just kind of aim for that tree right there and see what happens. So that was we'll just go ahead and, well, we'll mulligan. Old. I'm not sure how many mulligans you get, but I'm going to take advantage because the game cuts you off after 20 strokes, and we might need all 20 to get through with this hole. Okay. Shoot. Oh, okay. I did get some wrist action on it accidentally. We'll try this one more time. One more time. There we go. So I'm still in the rough. I thought that was going to dogleg around a little bit, but I guess it didn't. Well, I guess I just went too far that way. Now I've got to go up and over this water. So we'll keep our 5-iron. This may be like backspin and topspin, and then we'll just adjust our stance a little bit and give it a shot. Boy, that's like me in real life, folks. But I think we're getting closer to the fairway. We'll try this one more time. There we go. Okay, now we've got a shot that's up and over the water. It's 128 yards. The thing is, a full swing with a 5-iron will take you longer than 128 yards. A pitching wedge should take you about 90 yards, and each club maybe like 10 or 15 more yards. Now that we're back on the fairway, I'm going to select my 3-wood. Now this could be bad because it's got that smaller sweet spot. We'll try it. Sliced it over. Okay, but we did make some progress. And I swear, I'm tapping that mouse just as fast as I can. We'll do this one more time. Oh no, we got to get off of that. Let's go down to our 2-iron. Okay, I'll take that. Maybe the 2-iron will be more useful in this game than it is to me in real life. Okay, we've almost made it to the green. This is where we might want to use not a full swing. So we'll take our pitching wedge and just kind of drag it down almost all the way. Hey, we're on. It's a Saturday morning here in West Virginia. I got up super early this morning. You wait all week to be able to sleep in, and then when the day finally comes, was unable to. So I was up at 5:45 this morning watching an old Chrono Trigger speed run on YouTube. It's just the kind of exciting life that I lead on my days off. Okay, so this is a new experience for me. Because I haven't made it to the green before. Actually, once I figured out how to play, I just figured I'd start streaming. So my guess is that maybe you hold this down and you wait for this thing to fill up. Let's try that. Okay, that's not the case. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, I've got to say I owe it all to Bill. He's the man. He helped me out with my with my caddy. Anyway, we're gonna go and we're gonna play some more holes. I'm gonna put on some background music just so it's not totally silent. Let me pull up my page here. Bear with me just a second. Maybe just kind of check and look at the volume levels here. I think that's pretty good. Let me just take it down a hair. Okay. All right. So obviously we want to have our new position. Oh, and there's our music back again. We don't want to get in the way of that. So now we're back with this rockin' tune. So we double parred that first hole. They call it a snowman. That's a common score for me in real golf. And we're going to continue. I think we got enough time to get the whole front 9 in. Check my time real quick. Looks like I got plenty of time. Okay, so we're teeing off this new hole. Let's get the background music going on again. How about this? It's Animal Crossing. Looks like we need to go off and to the right a little bit, so we'll do that. Just like that. Okay, driver, don't let me down. Ooh. I'm not really sure where the ball ended up. I know I hit it far, but I had a weird kind of I probably shouldn't have done that stance. We're going to try this one more time, and I'm going to change my stance. I'll just leave it as a normal stance. Yeah. Guys, I may actually be getting the hang of this. I hit it in the water. That's fine. I'll take a penalty drop. So you see the commonly found in nature perfect right angle of this pond. Let's see. We're 76 yards away, so you really have to have some kind of golf knowledge to play this game, just to know the length of the clubs, but I'm sure that the manual came with this information. If we take a pitching wedge and we hit it full strength, we actually maybe hit it at about 80%. That should take us... I just don't trust these distances, though. I feel like we need to go with the 5-iron. Just from where I saw it hit last time. And we'll point it right at the hole because we really have no way of knowing the elevation or anything. It looks like it goes up, but... Okay, so that... It doesn't, it doesn't tell you how far your shot went, so I probably would have been okay going with the pitching wedge. I just didn't want to get back in the water. And that's going to take us to the other side of the green, but we're going to be pretty close as we go ante over. Okay, let's see if I can pull out another one of those Faldo-like putts. Okay, looks to be fairly flat. 22 yards. Putter, it's probably set up to go 50 yards. So if we do just over halfway. Okay, I'll take it. And it looks like I am unable. Okay, there we go. Boy, this is some strange geography here, trying to set this up. Okay, and then if we do about like that. No matter what, putting's always a feel game, you know, in video games. All right, 7 strokes. We're improving. Let's go on to the next hole. No. I kind of just want to see the 14th. So this is a 454 yard, which means it's probably a par 5, yeah. Got our driver. Let's hope for a good drive again. That's a mulligan. One more time. There's just, I'm almost wondering if it would be smarter if I was playing for real to just go with irons this whole time, because the hitbox is just so small. I mean, that's at the very edge of how fast I can click the mouse twice, and I can't even imagine using a you know, an Amiga mouse with the extra travel that is on those buttons. Okay, where are we going? Well, I guess we need to reconfigure ourselves. One more, maybe? Okay, that looks pretty good. And we're 224 yards away from the hole, but we've got to clear this water, so we're going to take a low iron, maybe a 3 iron, to see if we can lay up right next to that water. I think I lay it up right into the water. Oh, no. Okay. I always love seeing the clubhouse in the background on these old golf games. I don't know, there's just something about it that I think is beautiful. So it looks like, again, I guess I've got to... No, that's the green, right? Yeah, I was going the wrong way. I'm glad that this mic has a mute button. I'm fighting this cold. Okay, right up over these trees, 110 yards away. So that's a decent pitching wedge shot. If I go full power, here we go. Probably should have gone with the 9 iron. Okay, here we are putting. Looks like it's going downhill a little bit. We're 16 yards away. You know, if I can 2-putt these, 2-putting is never a bad thing. 6 yards. Boom, bogey. All right, here we are on hole. I missed it. I guess we're hole 4. 346 yards. Just a straight shot. Jeez. I'm getting the hang of it. So I went from at the beginning of this stream being a solid non-fan of this game, and it just goes to show how maybe impatient modern gamers are, even classic gamers that have grown to play modern games, that if we can't immediately get the hang of the controls, we just dismiss it as a bad game. You know, the game controls poorly, versus, you know, sometimes it just takes a little time to get the hang. Okay, so we need, I'm just going to hit a pitching wedge and just kind of get it through these trees. And one more time. We're 62 yards away. So that's about, we're going to do a half power pitching wedge with some topspin. I think that's what that tee is. That was not what I wanted to have happen, but that's okay. I guess I should have gone a little bit more. Bring this down again and do the same thing. Hopefully that should bring us pretty close to the hole. Okay, maybe this is not, because that thing hooked in a way that I did not want. So maybe this is not backspin and topspin. Okay. 4 yards away. All right. 2 bogeys in a row. Of course, that's with the mulligan, but you know, real golf, that's how it goes too, right? Sometimes you got to use the hand wedge. All right, here we are. We got a par 3, 186 yards. We want to lay up in the water right there and then go across. So we're going to try the 9-iron at about 80%, 90%. See how that does us. And straight shot is going to give us the most green to work with. Shoot. It really it gave me a little right there. I should have hit that not as well as I did. Okay. 130 yards away. Well, that's an easy iron shot. If I go down here, the 2-iron. 2-iron coming out of the rough, because that's going to affect our shot some too. Oh, shoot. Guys, I'm going to take a mulligan there. Oof. That was even worse. Well, I guess I should, I was using the 2-iron. I guess I've got to use a higher club. Let's just sand wedge out of here. Something like that. Well, the scores are not going to be great on this hole. At least there we go. I'm back on the fairway. I'm going to pause for a minute to blow my nose. All right, 112 yards. This is definitely a 9-iron shot at 100%. Here we go. That should put me on the green. All right, and this looks like it's sloping downward a little bit. Just aim. It's really hard to say. 14 yards, about halfway, a little over halfway maybe. Come on. Okay, that's it. I'll take it. Stop. All right. Okay, this next hole looks like we got a small dog leg to the left. I guess and just kind of hit it right there. That's the plan. Got our driver. I can't tell you how much concentration goes into one of those swings. I'm in the rough, but I feel like I hit it well. I've got to be pretty close to the green. Let's take our wedge. Actually, let's do about 8-iron. Let's just see if we can get out of here. $58 yards. Let's do it. I'm concerned about that tree, but there's not much I can really do about it since it's so close. We'll back that off just a tad. Yeah, that's okay. Here's the flag. Point right at it. 40 yards. Hey, I think I can make this one. 2 yards away. All right. So we're nearing the end. We'll go the front 9 on this game. Boy, the slice would have been a lot more welcome. We'll mulligan. That looked pretty good. got to contend with water, so let's just take a 9-iron and just hit it. And that should let us lay up. Okay. And we'll just do the same thing. That's in the sand. Our sand wedge to get us out of here. Get it as hard as we can. Ooh. Do you gotta use wrist action to get out of the sand? Maybe. That's our sand wedge. Ooh. Things were going great, but that's the, you know, that's sand for you. Yeah, I guess you do have to use some wrist action to get out of there. Well, this is a par 5. I'm not exactly sure what I want to be doing. Alright, at least I got over that tree. Now we'll make our approach. And 106 yards. See, I think this we're gonna test the length of this pitching wedge. Pitching wedge I've always thought was about 90 yards, but could be more. See, that put us right there on the green, I think. Yeah. So now we know. And 10 yards. Come on, break. I thought that was going to break. I'm not really sure how to read these greens. Okay, hole 8. This looks exactly the same as the last hole. Or wait a minute, maybe it was 2 holes ago. So they give you a little freedom. You can see I overshot it a little bit. It would be nice if they gave you a compliment if you actually stayed on the fairway, because they certainly let you know when you're not. 160 yards. That is an 8-iron. Just make sure we're pointing right at the flag as much as we can. I didn't account for the wind. There is no wind. Okay, this is a half pitching wedge with half power. Ooh. I guess I'm going uphill. I should have accounted for that too. This is definitely going uphill. 100 or 14 yards. We'll put it almost all the way. Stop ball. That's going to roll all the way down. They've placed the pin back. That's never a good sign. And we're rolling back down the hill that way. Okay. We'll play it safe. Stay. Okay. Thanks a lot, Bill. I appreciate your candor. Okay, we're going into the last hole. This is a 406-yard par 4. Okay, and it's another straight shot. Just a little bit that way. Well, mulligan. Alright. No sardonic comments from the caddy, so we're on the green or on the fairway. And 182 yards, so this would be a time where we might want to use a 5 wood. Although really it doesn't really make sense why you'd want to, because the hitbox is so much bigger and there's really not that much distance that separates the 2-iron. A 5 wood is easier to hit than a 2-iron in real life, but 182. We'll do like a 4-iron. It's a wind, no wind. I guess that's a little short. Or maybe not. Maybe it's right there. 2 yards away. Well, folks, I'm quitting while I'm ahead. I'm not going to do better than a birdie. Nick Faldo's Championship Golf. I give it a thumbs up. This is a challenging golf game, a pretty golf game. It's got birds and stuff going on in the background, but you've got to play some music or something. If you're playing by yourself, if you're with a buddy, it's fine. But other than that, the graphics are really good. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of this game. Who knows? The Amigos may review this on a future podcast. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the stream, and until next time, adios.